Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. I hope you're all doing well. Not much to say this week. It is my last week before I get paid on the 15th. So this is just sort of a mopping up situation. Let's see how empty the purse actually is. I've got a little bit to stuff. I've got 20, 40, 60, 80 pounds to stuff. I've got a £10 placeholder there because I'm just going to rejiggle my digital pots because I spent some money out of them this week. So yeah, let's just get into it. So starting, as always, with the check-in, I last filmed last Saturday. It is Saturday afternoon as I film this. So on Sunday, I went to Lidl and did my food shop. That came to £17.87. We then went into town because I needed to do a return. What actually happened was I bought some a shirt from H&M and I bought it in 2 sizes. And I went back on the Friday to return it and it was quite busy. All went through, left, and then Saturday evening I realised I'd not had the usual email to say the return had been accepted. So I ordered online, returned to store, and it wasn't in my app either showing as returned. So I did an online chat, and yeah, something had gone wrong. I think where it was so busy, the sales assistant hadn't ticked to complete the refund. So I didn't have it. So I was quite stressed, if I'm honest, because I just thought, how am I going to go in and prove that you've got the shirt and you've got my money? But the guy that I spoke to on the online chat was actually really helpful, and he said that because I had seen it on the scanner they had initiated the refund, so they should be able to find it. It was not that simple. There was a manager was in a meeting and wouldn't come out, but they looked at back on the CCTV like it's mad how long it took. But I suppose they have to be careful, but equally they were sort of implying it was a glitch and actually it would go through. I mean, what a glitch if online is telling me it's not through and I'm just chancing it. But anywho, after that was a long story and didn't really link to this, sorry. But just to say, if you return to H&M, make sure you stay there and check that they have ticked and clicked to make it all go through, because it's slightly annoying. Where we park, we don't pay, we walk across, so it's not that big a deal. But when at one point she'd said, oh, the manager is in a meeting for another hour, and I was thinking, well, I've had to drive back here, so that's petrol, potentially pay to park, all because you didn't do it 2 days ago, which is human error. It's fine, but it was very much like, I don't know, extra cost for something that should have been done. Anywho, £17.13 I spent on Temu. So you may have seen I put it on my stories. I did some sort of scrapbooking. I used to do scrapbooking and journaling a few years ago and I really miss it. So I wanted to get a few more supplies. Yeah, I was doing it back 2019, 2020 I was doing it, and then obviously lockdown we weren't really going anywhere, so I did a little bit and then it just sort of dropped off. I didn't really do it again, so I do really miss it and I like looking back at it. So I bought some supplies off Temu. That came out of my fun money. I've just realised I've done all these on the wrong day. Right, Monday, now looking at it, was actually a no spend. Do you know what, well, put that on Tuesday and I'll just have to live with it. But, oh, that's gone a bit funny. Okay, so Monday, here's an example of what I think I spoke about last week. Petrol's £25 again suddenly, and I don't know why. It was £19 the week before. Granted, there had been a bank holiday, I think. Yeah, so that accounted for a bit. But I don't know how it jumped up because I literally didn't go anywhere. But then I've realised I did these, I think I just said I did these round the wrong way. 1, 2, 3, 4. It'll be a cheaper one this week, hopefully. But £25 on petrol. It has gone down again, I saw the other day, so I mean by pennies, it doesn't really make a massive difference with the amount I'm topping up, but still. £5.50 in Sainsbury's. I bought Wilbur a toy. I bought him 2 toys actually, because one of the Easter ones, I'd bought him an Easter chick, and then the bunny one they did was on sale for 40p. Like, that's so cheap. So I bought him one of those and he's not ripped it up, so amazing. Tuesday, technically Monday, no spend. Wednesday, £2.70 in Budgeons. That was on some Pepsi Max. £1.50 on Co-op. That was on some crisps. Whilst I've got the orange out. The next day, 55p in Co-op. That was on some croutons. You'll notice no bread roll. Not only that, we've had those shortages in our local Co-op, so I couldn't get one if I wanted to. But I've started doing salads for lunch at work, so I'm not buying the bread rolls anymore. There's a chat no one asked for. £45.06 on plants. That was unbudgeted, but my birthday's coming up, and in the summer around my birthday I do like buying some plants and bits with some birthday money, and they always die, and I always tend to buy them as plants. So I'm hoping I'm still in time because I bought some what do they call them, bare roots, like bulbs but not. So I bought some bits. There was 40% off the website and free shipping where I normally get them from. They come from the Netherlands. So I bought a mix of the plants that I normally buy in plant form for like a lot more. So what I'm planning to do is with birthday money, just pay myself back for that. So it's unbudgeted for now, but that will be sorted. £18.64 was on a gift. I could not fit in the website into this to write it in. Again, technically unbudgeted because my gift fund is down to £3, I think. But as I said, I get paid next week, so I will pay myself back out of the gift pot that I top up, so that is fine. £28.06 on Zooplus. That was on some pet food, cat food. And then £6.30 in Tesco's last night. That was on some groceries. We went for a walk with Wilbur and stopped off on the way home. And then today, £4.60 in Co-op. I've split this out. It was all in Co-op on the same trip. £4.60 was on some groceries. £6.20 came out of the coffee fund. I bought Nick a meal deal and me a drink. And then £2.70 in Co-op. That was on some Pepsi, ready for work next week. Yes, I'm addicted to Pepsi Max, but that's where we're at. I'm a bit muddled with my days there. Not been great because I've spent out quite a large amount on Thursday, but it is all coming from certain pots, so it's not too bad. Just not great, is it? Right, moving into the purse. Let's see what we've got left. Beauty is empty. Eating out's empty. Fun is empty. So we'll take that and put that back there. Groceries had £10 left. We'll cash stuff that in a minute. Petrol had £5, and then there is some change as well. Everything. There's £2.50, 75, 78. That is disgusting. Is that even a penny? That is the Queen. That's disgusting. I'll put that straight back in for in case I go over by a penny with petrol. Right, so speaking of petrol, £30 for the week ahead. Oops. Groceries is getting £30. And that is it for the purse. And then into my digital pots. I've I've looked at what was left because I know like Botox was out slightly. So that is now back to normal and where it should be on £90. Days out is getting left. Effort is getting left. Gifts has £3, but I'm going to leave it with this £5 placeholder in. Hair and home are getting left. Nick is getting £20. So his birthday's next week. He has got £80 in here at the moment. Next weekend. So next week when I get paid, I'll take another £20 out and that will fully fund his. I might not show it on a video, it depends when I film because of when his birthday is, but that will get fully funded next week. Pets now has £31.94 in it, so I'm going to take these away and just put a 10 in and put that there is £30 in there, and that's everything. So now moving on to my savings challenge binder, and I just want to say it was quite what's the opposite of disheartening? Heartening? Quite a few people said they were feeling the same about challenges and then they used to be able to stuff quite a bit, and that's just sort of gone out the window. So I'm glad I'm not alone, but it really does feel like, what was the point in this spring binder? I know I bang on and on about it, but Candy Skies is so nearly finished. And I have to say, actually, I'm thinking about bits I want to do for my birthday because I've got a week off work. And it is so nice to have this money set aside and know that I've got money ready, but it has been tough going some weeks, well, months actually, because it's just meant that all these other ones are on the back burner. But lots of you have said the same thing, so we're all on our own path, aren't we? But yeah, thank you if you commented and let me know I'm not alone with that. And I mean, this week is also going to be equally disappointing for me because I've got £15 and some change to stuff, and I know I need more than that to complete these. But tomorrow and Monday, what's left from groceries and petrol technically is still within this month, so I'm sure I'll get these done. It just means that these aren't looking so good, but I think that the Babes at Budget for next month is slightly less. Candy Skies will nearly be finished, so I should hopefully get a little bit in here. I really hope so, but we will see. Anyway, let's get on with it. Fill the Dots is getting left again for the time being. Candy Skies, I am cheating on this one slightly. So technically, my next one is save 20. I don't have £20 in my budget to put in there. So I'm going to move on to save 9. I will come back to save 20 next week. And what I'm actually going to do is reallocate the money from hot cross buns, because I have not saved a decent amount this season, sorry, in this binder. So what am I going to do with £9? Nothing. So I'm going to take this and put it straight in Candy Skies, and I'm fine with that. I mean, ideally I would like to be able to take it out and have a little bit of bonus money, but I worked out I've only saved £20, so it's not a huge amount. So I'll put that there. I'm going to need to do something to remind me that I need to go back to that one. Let's just pop that in. Let's do a little dot on this to remind me that I've got to do it next week. So I think there's 4 weeks, so this will literally take me to my birthday, I think. So it'd be really nice to have that done, but it'll also be nice to have the freedom to actually do a bit more with my savings in the future. Oh, where it's full now, this is just not going in properly. Oh, I guess it's got some change behind it. Okay, April Babes at Budget is just going to get this £15 I've got here, which will take it to £30 in there, and that means I've got £10 left, which I should be able to do with my leftover money, so it will be fine. It just doesn't feel great, does it? Right, what can we do? Each bunny is 5. Right, there's 3 bunnies left, so let's do them. 1, 2, 3. That's that one, which leaves £2 here to go into Lily Rain Designs. Did you see Lily Rain had brought out, her name's not Lily Rain, it's Tyler, had brought out a summer box, but I just couldn't justify it after the disaster that was my spring savings. If you got one and you've done a video unboxing, please let me know, because I love her stuff and I would really like to see what she's got. I think she shipped them maybe yesterday. So if you do get one, let me send me your link and whatnot, and let me see what's in it. Right, what have I done? I've done £2 in here. So that'll be £4 to go in next week. And again, I'm pretty sure I'll be able to do that. One other thing to do is pages to pounds. I finished a book this morning. It was called Tell Me How This Ends. It was a free one on Kindle or Kindle Unlimited, and it's actually really good. It was a contemporary, a bit of a mystery. It was about a lady who I would say she was not neurotypical, but they didn't ever really say what was different. If you've read Eleanor Oliphant, reminded me of that. But she works in a grief counselling, end of life place where she writes people's life stories, and a lady comes in and there's a bit of a mystery with her life. Yeah, it was really quite good actually. I enjoyed it. So that was 290 pages. Where is my pen? One of these days I will have the pen to hand. Not today. Here it is. £2.90. So I will, is this right? Yeah, transfer that, oops, into my Starling account, and that's 4 books left. So I know I'll finish one for book club. So by the end of June, I should hopefully have this done. I don't know what I'm going to do with that money. Again, maybe that'll be used to pay back the money for the garden bits. Not sure. But that's everything in here. So what's left now is 77p to go into my penny savings tin. So let's just get that without making too much noise, hopefully. So after the disaster that was me last week trying to work out what I could save, or where I could cross off rather, I've put the pen down. Here's the pen. I've got 27. Let me just get the calculator because I can't be trusted on this. Right, so we've got 77p. I could cross off 27, leaves me with 50. I could cross off 26, leaves me with 24. If I do 22, I can't do 2. If I do 18, I can't do 6. If I do 17, I can do 3 and 4. Do that quick before I forget. 3, 4, 17, 27 and 26. Right, so I'm not got that much. I've got 22, 18, so what's that? 40p, 53, 64, 74. I've got like 74p and then I'm done. Brilliant. Amazing. So that was everything. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm hoping this wasn't too much of a rush, but I don't really ever have much to talk about in my last week of the month. So yeah, payday next week. Let me know. I've been wondering actually whether I should film a budget, not a budget with me, but a setting out my budget video. I'm not sure. I know next month is, as I've said, my birthday, so I'll get some birthday money. I also think I'll have slightly less disposable money, so I'm not sure how I'm going to work my budget. But that's something I've been thinking about. Let me know what you think. Do you like seeing people actually sit down and work out their budgets, or should I just stick to this formula? Let me know. Also, let me know how your budgets are, how you are. It is, as I said, Saturday as I film this. Really lovely day outside, actually. My sister's coming over for dinner shortly, so I'm going to go and have a little bit of a tidy up downstairs. But yeah, hope you're all well, and thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you again next time.